open grand PSF is trending around the range of 1,003.
When we convert it to a 3 plus flexi, it's actually about 5.15 in terms of length.
Step 2, 3 and 21, they are 5 bedders. They face internally towards the pool.
Welcome to another episode of our new launch studio reviews by PropertyLimBrothers. Today we are unveiling one of the most anticipated launches in 2024, which is Chuan Park. Today we're going to do something a little bit fun. We are going to rank Chuan Park based on 16 different factors over here that you see on the screen, and then we're going to give it a score by the end of the review. So first thing first, to know that Chuan Park, this is from an en bloc land. This is not from a government land sale. And the land actually cost $890 million and is bidded by Kingsford as well as MCC Land. One thing that is interesting about en bloc developments is that usually the layouts are a little bit more flexible. That's one, because they do not need to go by the Lego style kind of building construction. You have walls that can be flexible, that can be hacked down, which you will be able to see in the floor plan later. And this is also a project that is not within the harmonization era, which means that aircon ledge is still considered within your floor plan size. So, kick off with some project facts first. This is in District 19. Of course, you are at Lorong Chuan MRT station, 916 units. This is actually in fact the biggest development entirely in 2024 for a new launch this year. We are sitting on a very big land size, 400,582 square feet. Total 5 towers. Also, there are 19 stories to 22 stories depending on which tower you are at, and with 734 car park lots plus 6 handicap lots. So total you are not having a one-to-one parking, but that is not an issue because you are just right doorstep to the MRT station. So one of the things that we want to look at is how dense actually the project will be. Sitting on land size of 400,000 square feet at 916 units only, we actually tabulated out of the recent last few years, the mega projects, what is the land size they are sitting on, as you can see over here, versus the number of units that they have. And then we actually have this figure called land size per square feet, land size per unit in square footage. So what it means over here is if you see a higher number, it actually means that per unit you actually enjoy a higher amount of square footage on your own. So the higher number means that it is less dense. So quick one, if I were to just grade them based on volume, of course this is 5 upon 5 because number of units actually relates to better valuation increase down the road. So that's why usually bigger projects, when they have other correct attributes, they actually perform very well over time. Same thing, this density is going to be a strong plus point for this Chuan Park project. Next up, developer. This is jointly developed by Kingsford as well as MCC. So they already have completed some projects that are quite well known. For example, Normanton Park by Kingsford. We also have Queen's Peak, Alps Residences, as well as One Burnham Landmark by MCC Land as well. So coming back to the unit mix. So this development, number one, does not comprise of any one bedder or 1 plus study. The 2 bedders and 2 plus study comprises only 44% of the entire number of units, which is great. 47% is actually 3 bedrooms, 6.6% 4 bedders, 2.4% 5 bedrooms. So in totality standpoint, you have about 56% are actually for 3 to 5 bedrooms. So this project, whenever you see that the mixture has more homeowner occupied unit in terms of percentages, this usually translates to number one, more families that will be attracted to the project, better resale value, and usually also better facilities that is being planned for that will suit family own stay. So I will rank based on unit mix itself a 5 upon 5. Next up, on location standpoint, one of the major draw points for Chuan Park is actually its location and its proximity to MRT station. This is within the BTS zoning, Bishan, Toa Payoh, Serangoon. So this is a very popular zoning because you are either within the RCR region location at the OCR region. So what happens over here is, if you can see from the side map, from the side gate itself over here, so yeah, this side gate that is just right beside Lorong Chuan exit B, and the main gate is actually very close to Lorong Chuan exit A. So of course, nowadays everybody likes something that is super close to MRT station. This is like a 1-minute walk, so that definitely ranks very well. This project is also nice in a way that you have plenty of side gates. So in any angle of the project itself, you actually have a side gate that is accessible to lead to the closest road or to lead to the nearest amenities or park connector, which is awesome. If you were to look on the other thing that within 500 meters to 1 kilometers, what are the schools that are surrounding Chuan Park itself? We have actually 4 primary schools that are within 1 kilometers. So namely, Zhonghua, CHIJ Our Lady of Good Counsel, Yangzheng Primary School, St. Gabriel's, as well as Kuo Primary School. So just want to share that, of course, number one, for St. Gabriel's, Yangzheng, and CHIJ Our Lady of Good Counsel, for these schools, all blocks, all 5 towers are within 1 kilometers. And these are all very popular schools. Just to highlight that St. Gabriel, number one, is walking distance. It's very popular. Next is already affiliated school. So that, you know, like if you are sending one of your kid and then it's affiliated to a secondary school, so that is great. For Kuo Primary, which is very, very popular, this is also affiliated. It's a co-ed school. However, we want to take note that only 3 towers are actually within 1 kilometer distance, which is Tower 242, 244, as well as 250. In terms of other amenities that are nearby Chuan Park residences, in terms of shopping mall-wise, you are 1 MRT stop away to Next as well as to Junction 8. We also have 2 stops to Woodleigh Mall. So these are all the popular malls within the region itself. Schools we have already covered. We are approximately 6 MRT stops to Orchard as well. So all these are very closely connecting you to the central region kind of location. So in that sense, MRT, we are definitely going to give you a 5.5. In terms of ambient and environment, ambient is more of like the internal feeling, the feeling that you're getting when you are in the project itself. And for environment, it's more on like the exterior environment in terms of feeling wise. Okay, so if you were to look at this provided by the architect of the development, is if you look at the yellow spots, they are all actually your landed properties. So these are all low-rise development. You can see that Chuan Park is actually situated amidst a cluster that is predominantly landed properties. So reducing the amount of density that you're getting as your neighbors, leading to a more comfortable and more private car environment. We have low-rise developments and of course some high-rise developments that are 10 floors and above. There are usually some HDBs as well as some of the condos that are surrounding this project. Something that is very interesting is predominantly this project, out of the 4 out of 5 towers, are situated 100% in a north-south orientation. So north-south orientation, one of the plus points is you're not getting any direct sun. So you're going to be feeling more cool throughout the entire year because wind direction alternate between 6 months in the north wind, 6 months from the south. Only one of the towers, Tower 248, is slightly tilted to be at the northwest facing direction. So partially is also to avoid the higher floors HDBs on the right hand side, and you can actually see towards the internal facing as well as some of the pocket landed views in front. So I think this is created in a very smart angle. And I really love that, number one, what creates to that nice kind of ambience in that complex itself is usually what is your tower to tower distance. And you can see that the developer has created in a way that, for example, Tower 242 and 244, you are not going to face any towers or any neighbors within the development itself. You are always facing towards the exterior. Same thing for Tower 246 and 250 when you are facing the north and south. For internal facing units, you actually get something that is between 80 meters to 85 meters in terms of distance. That is quite a lot of privacy that is given to you because most of the time, internal facing units are about 30 to 40 meters in distance apart from each other. And so that actually gives you that kind of comfort to enjoy and to view the facilities that is within when you're internal facing as well. So as you can see, only 30% of units are internal facing, 70% of them are all external facing. In terms of the views that you will be getting, from the northern side, you will predominantly see landed view. So that is towards the Serangoon Garden Enclave landed properties. For your southern view, you are seeing to some of the condo developments like Springbrook Chiltern Park that is just right towards the southern area. You can get pocket view of the city if probably you are going for a slightly higher floor unit from level 15 and above. And angled towards view 3, that is where you will see past Nanyang Junior College and you can get some pocket views towards the city as well. So in terms of ambient environment, with that low density that is around that area and some of the views that you can be getting, especially that kind of comfortable distance between each tower, I will give it a 5.5. In terms of design concept and facade, so what is the idea behind the architect when they are creating this development? So of course, they are inspired by nature landscape, mountain, water, a more like secluded home. That is where it's quite a good representation of like how this Lorong Chuan cluster is. So you have that inspiration from mountains, waterfall, valleys, streams, lake, as well as island. And they actually created this as part of their facility design that you can find based on all this inspiration, like how some of the trees represent the island portion. We have an oasis, pool that represents the lake, and then we have all these streams and valley to represent all the different nature inspiration. Separated into 3 different categories: the forest, waterfront, as well as the vibrant courtyard. So this is how the facade actually looks like. So the white color portion is actually part of the reinforced concrete, so that gives some separation and shielding in terms of sunlight as well. So this is how it looks like, slightly like a night view. So I would say that from a facade standpoint, I would give it like a 3/5. So I think it is not something that is super exciting, but I think it looks pleasant and nice. Let's look at facilities. So because we are sitting on a very generous land size of 400,000 square feet, so naturally itself you have a lot of space that the developers can play with to create a very nice environment from a facility standpoint. So this is actually our arrival courtyard. So I think this is a very nice arrival courtyard. So when you come in, it feels grand, it feels very welcoming. First thing to note that the entire project is sort of elevated. And so when you drive in from road level, this entire portion from road level is actually the basement parking. And so your facilities and residential units are actually 1 story upwards from the road level itself. So this is how the 50-meter lap pool will look like. Because there is a big enough land size, they can actually accommodate another pool called the Oasis pool. So it's like having a secondary recreational pool that is more suitable for people to, like relax, good for your kids. So we have like the gym and water play. And I really love this very iconic botanical stairway that you can see right over here. I think it lets in a lot of natural sunlight that connects from level 1 to the basement. You have architecturally very attractive ambient lighting with that draping plants and greenery to, like as an iconic stairwell that leads to the facility zoning. That is very nice. Of course, it also comes with smart home system. So this is nothing special, but of course, I think every development right now, we need to have some basic level of smart home facilities for your facilities booking, etc. and all that. In terms of rentability-wise for Chuan Park, so over here, we have, in walking distance, quite close to a few international schools like Stanford American, Early Learning Village, Brighton College, as well as the Australian International School. So having international schools are always a good catchment in terms of rental. So if they really want to be something that is very close by walking distance, I would say that one of the projects, they will definitely consider one of the projects that are surrounding close by to the international schools itself. And Chuan Park will be probably one of the primary consideration if they are looking for something that is newer with more facilities. So if we were to look at these are the rental volume over the last 12 months as well as the rental yield percentage. As you can see over here, Scala and Cardiff residences, you can see that they actually get a higher rental yield amount from 3.9% to 4.5%. This rental yield percentage is actually pretty good because most of the units that are predominantly in Cardiff as well as Scala are usually your 1 and 2 bedders, and that is the reason why they actually have a strong attraction from a rental standpoint, and that's why you see the volume is a bit higher. The other thing itself is for the other projects like Springbrook, Chiltern Park, the Chuan, they have more owner-occupied units, and hence you can see that the rental yield that they are getting will be slightly lesser, so that's between about from 2.5% all the way until 3.5%. So I would say that in terms of rentability standpoint, the rental yield that you're going to get if you were to get a Chuan Park unit, then that will be about 3 points upon 5. Transformation. Transformation over here, we are predominantly looking at, are there future land plots that can lead to new developments to push up new anchor pricing that can bring up and elevate our pricing in Chuan Park if you are buying a unit right now. So we have plot number 1. Plot number 1 is actually a government land sale, which is already estimated to release in December 2024 for developers to purchase. And you can see there is 3 other plots, plot 2, plot 3, and plot 4 that is available surrounding this project. So potentially, if we are able to enter Chuan Park at a good pricing, then we will have the future plots to actually push out an anchor for new PSF pricing in the location. And the future plots are actually not so close to MRT station itself. So definitely Chuan Park has that kind of advantage from a location standpoint. So for transformation, 3/5, Tenure, because it's not a freehold property, but it is brand new, so we'll give you a 4/5. Let's look at the current supply in the vicinity. If we look at Chuan Park area, within the Lorong Chuan enclave, you will see that we have Golden Park Condos, Spring Bloom, Chiltern Park, Golden Heights, Scala, Miranda Gardens, Sunnyvale, the Chuan. And if we were to add up to total the amount of units right now in existing supply, that is only 2,148 units. So basically you can see that this is a very low density condo zoning. Most of the projects are smaller developments, and there's the biggest number of units now is 500 units. So having Chuan Park coming in at 916 units, definitely at one of the bigger land size over there, giving you additional facilities will help you to stand out from its competitors surrounding this enclave in the road in future. Exit audience. So one of the things that today we want to know in the future, who will be interested to buy Chuan Park from you if you like to exit 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road. One of the things is it's good to be in a landed enclave because that actually means that there are downstreamers, landed property owners who really love their location, but they no longer want to maintain such a big unit, would like to consider something that is more convenient. Usually that means number one, is there a property that is nearer to the MRT station? Is there a property that has more facilities that is good for retirement? Thirdly, is the property generally newer so that they can now enjoy their retirement years and do not have to bother about maintenance issues? So over here, we are surrounded by quite a number of landed enclaves. We are in D19. D19 is one of the enclaves that has one of the most number of landed properties itself. We have Serangoon Garden, which is a very popular landed enclave. On the top left, we have Kovan on the top right. And then we have a smaller cluster of Lorong Chuan properties at the bottom south towards Chuan Park. And we have, of course, other landed clusters in like the Tai Seng area, etc. So these all become your potential downstreamers and your future exit audience if you were to own a unit at Chuan Park. Of course, not to forget that we have a lot of record-breaking HDB transactions in terms of setting new price benchmark in the vicinity. So your Bidadari first batch of MOP units have already started transacting. 4-room flats are actually transacted above $1 million. And so it is when they are looking at a place to actually upgrade, then they will be thinking, where are some of the options surrounding their current HDB, for example, in Woodley itself, Toa Payoh, Lorong Chuan, and Serangoon that they can consider. So I think like we have a good sense of, we've got a stream of upstreamers from the HDB people, and we have downstreamers from landed owners. So this makes the exit audience very good at 5.5. Next, you'll look at developers' cost price. So of course, the land was bought over en bloc $890 million. And if you were to just work out in terms of per square feet per plot ratio, based on the amount of square footage the developer can build, it will be 1058 per square feet. This is actually inclusive of topping up the lease because previously it was en bloc from another 99-year leasehold property. You had to top up the lease to the full 99 years. So the land pricing will be 1058. Adding on to other pricing like your construction costs, your financing costs, marketing costs, etc., the break-even per square feet per plot ratio is estimated to be $2,229 per square feet. So if we were to just load in two different percentages at 10% profit, the developer will have to sell at an average price of $2,452. At a 15% profit margin, they will have to sell about $2,563 per square feet. So let's combine it in terms of layout-wise to roughly estimate what is the price quantum. Because number one, right now there are no official news on pricing yet. We do not have any estimated prices. We do not have any confirmed starting prices from developer. So everything is all based on our estimation at the moment. One of the things in terms of layout-wise for Chuan Park is that I really love the ceiling height that they're providing, which is at 2.975 meters, which is pretty good for a typical unit. So let's start off with their 2-bed, 2-bath. 2-bed, 2-bath, if they will launch at about averagely $2,600 per square feet, it will land up to be a 1.82 million kind of quantum. In terms of layout-wise, I think pretty standard, but what they really work on is in terms of the bedroom sizing. In terms of both the common room and the master room, for all the layouts, they are all very generous in terms of sizing wise. And for this layout specifically, if you are interested, this is what you can do. If you want to have a separation between the kitchen and dining, you can always have like a glass panel over here that you can install on your own. Of course, for two-bedder, the bathroom will not have natural window ventilation, but this is pretty standard as a layout. The other one, 2-bed plus study. This will be about $1.9 million, 732 square footage. Dumbbell layout, efficient, no wasted space in terms of walkway-wise. You have a study that is tight at the corner. I think that gives some flexibility. Number one, if you do want a place that you can dedicate as a storage area, as an open study kind of concept, or if you just want to adjoin the bedroom too and have another wall line such that you can actually include the study as part of your home. The other thing is because, same thing like what I mentioned just now, because this is a project that is under en bloc, you can see that wall lines are very flexible. All these are all hackable if you do want something that is more like an open floor plan. Certain developments right now would like to have something what we call like the flexible walls. So during when you are hosting, you can always fold up the walls for privacy, and when you don't have any guests that is around, you can always open it up such that you can actually enjoy the full space on your own. That's the plus point of having walls that are hackable. The other unit type, 2+ study, which is also one of the show flat units, this is very nice. 1.93 million if it's at $2,600 per square feet. This is the biggest 2+ study layout, 743 square footage that you can find over here. What is interesting will be this, because here, if you do want, you can actually really enclose this to become sort of like your half bedroom. And this half bedroom really gives that flexibility to make it like a guest room or enclosable study area. And you can mark it as like a compact 3-bedroom down the road in the future when you're trying to sell. So I think this is a very flexible layout that I like. Quantum wise, maybe it's about 1.93 million. Small little detail is that I saw like the floor tiles that was given in terms of providing for all the units itself. I am really quite impressed with that. I think it was a 1.2 meters by 60 cm kind of floor tiling, so it's pretty big. Usually that you only see in like landed homes kind of renovation. Coming back to the 3 bedrooms. 3 bedrooms, we have the starting size 958 square feet. So just now we mentioned that this is a non-harmonized project, so the square footage actually includes all the aircon ledge that you see over here. The other thing that if you see all the RC ledges in the floor plan, so do not have to worry about the RC ledges. So these are not included in the part of the strata floor spaces. So at 958 square feet, this is the portrait living dining kind of setup, 3 bedrooms, master bedroom, very generous in size. Even the common rooms are all very generously sized. I think they have found a sweet spot between the breadth and the length of each of the bedrooms such that, you know, like you can actually accommodate your furniture in a more effective manner. So this actually comes with the bomb shelter over here. So I think this is a very functional layout for family stay. You don't have any long foyers that you need to worry about. So this is at probably 2.56 million. All right, next, we have the 1023 square feet. We have the 1023 square feet 3-bedder premium. I would say this is very similar to the previous layout, aside from the foyer space is different. And you also have an additional WC that you can see over here. Orientation is different, and you have a more private kind of entrance location. Next up, we start to have the more luxury kind of layout for the 3-bedders. This is at 1206 square feet. So you can see that this floor space is actually pretty big and generous considering it is a 3-bedder. What is different over here is that number one, where did that space of about that 200 square feet go to? Number one, it is still a portrait layout, but this is what we call like the wide portrait layout, where the distance is actually increased. I think this is probably going to be somewhere around like 3.6 to 3.7 meters. I do not have the actual dimensions yet because, you know, until we are able to see the show flat, then we'll be able to know exactly, you know, how long the spec is going to be. but we can tell just from the floor plan itself, this is what we call white portrait. It's going to be more comfortable. Usually, this is a popular layout when they start to introduce for bigger floor plate nowadays. And the other thing is this one doesn't come with a bomb shelter. It is a flexible storage area. So I think for people who want something that is have more natural ventilation, they will opt for like a store. Walls are hackable to give you that kind of flexibility if you do want to, like have this space to change it to an open concept, or you want to have the entrance to be here to create like a guest room instead of using it as a storage or like a helper's room from the back. WC is still over here. Kitchen, you have that glass panel that can connect and interact with your living and dining zoning. You do not have like an awkward foyer area, which is great. And for the master room itself, now you have an additional walk-in wardrobe at the side. So I think that is good for the main owners to enjoy like a bigger space. Then we have the show flat unit, which is 1227 square feet. So this is slightly bigger by about 20 square feet thereabouts. This will likely be around $3 million. And generally, it's very similar to the one that I shared with you, just that this is not a storeroom, this is a home shelter, and your WC orientation is a bit different, and you have a foyer that is tucked to the side. Alright, just now I missed out on the typical 3-bedder layout, which is the ones that is going to be probably popular because of a quantum standpoint, and it doesn't have a storage area. This at around $2,550 per square feet will be at $2.33 million. So predominantly there is the C1 layout, 915 square feet, or it's the 936 kind of square footage. Something that is interesting is that developers for the 3-bedders have decided to opt for this pillar wall to be between the master and the common room. Most of the time, I think like that would mean that there will be no flexibility if you do want to combine to have like a bigger grandmaster. But having 2 common rooms that can actually be combined together will be great for families. For example, if you have 2 kids and when they are younger and you would like them to have their own space, but yet at the same time to be able to like live happily together, sometimes you decide to knock it down and you have like an open concept within 2 bedrooms that they can actually interact and grow to be close when they are young. As they grow older during their late primary school or early secondary school age, and then now you put back that wall back. Of course, you can decide that this can be a flexible wall that you tear down and then install one time, such that like at any point in time when they do need privacy at night time, or like they want to have something that is more open and they can interact during daytime, that can always be a choice when you have that flex wall that is installed. So this will be something that is interesting. You also have that flexibility to expand your living area. So I think that are the plus point of having buying from development that is not on a Lego style construction, which all new launches from government land sales will have all the fixed walls right now. Okay, so one of the difference between the 915 and the 936 square feet is mainly in terms of number 1, foyer space. So of course, I think I have a slight preference to the 915. It feels more efficient compared to like that longer walkway that you get over here. And next, let's go to the 4 bedrooms. So 4 bedrooms, same thing, they do enjoy the wide portrait kind of layout. So your living room, you can see that the distance wall to wall is wider. And for the master room, you also have your own walk-in closet on both of the floor plans, as well as your junior master. Total, there will be 3 baths. So you can see that the junior master also have their own ensuite over here, as well as this side. And these 2 bedrooms will share this common bathroom itself. So same thing, the flexibility of walls is similar to the 3-bedders. One of the layout, D1, which is the smaller 4-bedder at 1335 square feet, has a storeroom kind of format. At 1335 square feet, this is actually a very generously sized kind of 4-bedder because most new launches will be at 1,200 plus range for like a 4-bedder. And for the other layout, the D2, you actually have a household shelter instead. So that will be about at 1389 square feet. And I think this is a very nice positioning in the sense that usually if you were to come in, if I were to do a feature wall, I could actually enclose this to become like a secluded space on its own that you might not be able to notice or observe. Let's say I were to consider it for like a tic-tac wall. So I think this is a very nice touch to this. WC is within the kitchen itself. So for this, you actually do not have like a WC for the D1 layout. So this is something to take note if you are buying for your own family stay and you prefer, like to have that fourth WC in the kitchen area, just think that D1 doesn't have that. Quantum price wise, this will be from 3.27 million, and for the bigger one, maybe it's about 3.4 million. Of course, I think for like a 4-bedder, what we might be missing over here will be that kind of like landscape living dining that probably a lot of homeowners might prefer. But of course, I think from an efficiency standpoint basis, it will be more efficient to be able to build something that is of a portrait living dining kind of layout, and so that you can maximize the number of bedrooms that are facing towards the front, and that is what we are creating over here. It's good that developer actually gave you a wide portrait kind of layout so that your living room also feel generally spacious. For the 5-bedroom, it's at 1,550 square feet. There is only one stack, 19 units of 5-bedroom. This will be having the full landed facing, so you are being situated to get one of the best views for the 5 bedrooms, which is great. So this is how the floor plan looks like. Same thing, entrance, bomb shelter can be concealed. Here I think it's good for multi-generation living because one of the junior master is tucked on the other end. So I think if you are living with your parents, I think that is a great layout. And you have 4 bedrooms tucked on this side, similar to like the 4-bedder that you see over here. Difference being, now the 3 common rooms will share 1 bathroom over here, and this has its own ensuite bathroom. The junior master is on one side. For the master, that's where you start to see that you have a his and her sink. So I think that is a nice touch for something that we go for like a bigger layout. I think what is generally missing for this layout is probably that if I were to be looking for a 5-bedder, it would be nice to actually have a private lift, which currently it doesn't have at the moment. And of course, we have that WC that's over here, wide portrait kind of living dining space that you are getting. So overall, this is also a show flat unit that you will get to see in the show flat itself. So overall wise, I think that layout, I'll give it a 3/5. And lastly, concluding on the entry price, just now we estimated how is the launch price for the different floor plans based on the developer's break-even pricing. So if we were to look at the surrounding supply and surrounding resale transactions over here, we have Miranda Gardens, the Chuan. These are freehold and 999 years. So you can see that they are actually setting the PSF benchmark over here surrounding this over last 6 months price performance. That's working out to be about like 2,100 plus kind of PSF range. And then next we have Scala, which is the youngest, 99 years, as well as Cardiff. They are transacting around that 1,008 PSF kind of range. And we have Springbloom and Chiltern Park, which is just opposite of Chuan Park. These are 99 years and they are relatively older in age at the moment. The lease starts from 1991 and 1995 respectively. So of course, the PSF standpoint, it will be at the lower range at 1,004 to 1,005 per square feet. Then now you'll be asking and thinking, if Chuan Park is going to be at the mid 2,005 per square feet, is this a good thing as compared to like the resale transactions over here? I think number one thing is that the price gap is going to close very rapidly for houses that are number one selling right now, knowing that Chuan Park is going to launch a certain pricing. The owner's expectation will put out. So you will likely no longer be able to achieve this kind of per square feet you were to find a unit in the resale transactions right now. And if you were to look at any listings in all the property portals, you realize that actually the number of units that are selling is actually relatively low in these projects. You can find a couple of 3 bedrooms as well as a 4-bedroom. So I think the alternate choices are not really there in the resale market. I think from a quantum price standpoint itself, because overall the layout is still efficient. So for your 2-bedder to your 3-bedroom premium, the one with a store, not the luxury format with the wide portrait living dining, I think those quantum pricing is still very, very palatable and very attractive because that pricing is very, very close compared to like the resale market. For the bigger unit types like your 4-bedders and your 5-bedders, where you start to see quantum pricing start from 3.2, for the 5-bedders go until 3.7 million, that is when potentially you might have other alternatives in other areas of Singapore if you would like something that is, like working with that kind of quantum standpoint. So with that in conclusion, pricing standpoint will give it 20 points over 30. One of the rationales is you realize that we actually place quite a huge importance of entry price. Because if you can hit a lot of the attributes correctly, but if the entry price is not assessed properly, you might end up with a property that might stagnate in prices in the years to come. So we gave a slightly higher weightage for this conclusion. That's why you have entry price is like 30 points. In conclusion, I think this project overall fares pretty well at the moment right now. So we conclude it to be 80 upon 100. Of course, no exact prices are being given by developer right now. And so how we actually help our clients from PLB is very simple. So if you are looking at number one, how do you choose the best stacks within or the best unit within Chuan Park itself, understanding the floor plan differences as well as the entry price premium because of the different facing they are getting. Should you go for a more premium facing? Is the additional premium worth paying it? That's where we come with the data analytics, where we help you to assess when should we go to a better facing and when should we go for like okay facing, which will result in better investment holding down the road. And if you are just exploring and thinking that, oh, maybe you are open, you don't really have to be in the Lorong Chuan vicinity, where is the best place that I can park my funds? In a new launch development, that's where we can use our macro analytics to help to compare based on the scoring for the different developments, which development based on bedroom type is better for you. Because at the end of the day, some developments, 3 bedders might be a better option, some developments 2 bedders might be an option. So it depends on what is the price point and the overall strategy, and that's what we can work out for you. So if you are interested, you can contact any of our PLB consultants and they will be able to assess this on a one-on-one basis with you. So that's all for today. Thank you for joining us at our Chuan Park new launch studio review, and we will see you soon at the show flat.